All right, now an Abuja-based legal practitioner, Mutiu joins us via Zoom for a perspective on the election petitions judgment. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour. All right. Well, it appears that the interpretation given by both councils to the APC and the PDP is leaving the public in a bit of confusion here, as both are laying claims to this judgment. What do you make of this?
Okay, I do not think there's any ambiguity in respect of what the tribunal's judgment is. It's clear that it is 2-1, and the majority decision of two members of the panel is obviously the decision of the tribunal. And what that means is that there will be a rerun in those identified polling units. And that rerun on its own can determine who will eventually become the governor of Kaduna State.
All right. Now, this judgment is coming virtual, and, virtual hearings is relatively new in our climb here. And I'm wondering what the position of the law is and whether or not it is, adding to the confusion.
Not at all. It's not adding to the confusion. Virtual hearing in our courts has been affirmed to be constitutional. So whether hearing of cases, whether the tribunal or in our regular courts, or delivery of judgments in the tribunal or in the regular courts, has been held by the Supreme Court to be constitutional. So there is nothing obviously wrong with the members of the gubernatorial tribunal of Kaduna State delivering their judgment virtually.
All right, so what do we foresee here now? With this judgment, what does it mean? Does it then mean that the sitting governor, Obasani, is now being sacked and until the conclusion of the rerun election that is to be conducted?
Okay, so Governor Obasani has two choices to make at this time. He has 21 days from today to appeal the judgment that has been delivered by the tribunal today. And if after 21 days he refuses or fails to appeal to the Court of Appeal, then INEC will be left with no choice than to conduct the rerun election as ordered by the tribunal. But I think what we all need to understand at this point is that the reason why the court ordered the rerun is simple. The number of votes in those identified polling units is about 16,000 plus. And you will recall that the difference between the votes won by Governor Obasani and Ashiri was just about 10,000. So the number of registered voters in the identified polling units as we speak now is about 16,000. And that can make a lot of difference if the rerun is eventually conducted.
So what you're saying is that if within these 21 days the sitting governor Obasani decides to file for an appeal, he can ask for the court to dismiss this judgment of conducting a rerun.
Exactly. You know that there are three stages to challenging gubernatorial elections in Nigeria. The decision of the tribunal today is just the first stage. If Governor Obasani decides to exercise his right to appeal within the next 21 days, that means the Court of Appeal will have a second chance to still look at the case and give its judgment. And after that, there's still the third stage, that's getting to the Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court, sorry. So the Supreme Court may also still have its own say on what the tribunal has decided today. So depending on what the parties decide, if they decide to go on appeal up to the Supreme Court will have the final say on whether there should be a rerun or not.
All right. Well, thank you so much, legal practitioner Mutiu Akinsanya. Thank you for joining us on the News Hour and sharing your insight.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right.